I think we're there. Okay, so for those of you that just joined, I was trying to get my camera to pull up on my other camera so that I had both of these going, and thought I would paint live today. So hopefully I've got that going and we're actually on. So I've got painting. I thought I would share kind of the progress and how I paint and why I paint and all of that. So I paint a lot of flowers. I used to paint a lot of roosters, and at some point I'll probably paint more roosters again, but I've been painting a lot of flowers lately. So if you are new to my page, thank you for joining me. If you have been with me before, you know our story. I have a son, Owen, who is 12, and he has autism. I paint with him. He helps me paint the backgrounds of our paintings with a hand-over-hand method. So generally I'll put my hand like on his wrist or just like guide him with that. And he has made incredible progress. For those of you that have been on our journey for a while, you, I know, have seen it. So that's kind of where I'm at with him. And he has done some amazing things. And so I keep telling myself that I'm going to paint different types of flowers. And if you've watched before, that looks just like probably all of the flowers, but I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna make some new flowers, maybe. That's what I always say. But you know, it's just paint. So we just keep painting, we keep adding paint, we keep doing, and half these lines don't really truly matter, because if you've seen my paintings, usually I cover a lot of them up, and we just keep adding until I think it's done. And then I use too much green sometimes because, well, that's what we do. So this is just how I paint, and I thought, well, I will come on here and kind of just add in some of my details. So again, if you're new to my page, thank you. I have been sharing our journey with autism for years and years and years and years and years. I started writing about Owen's journey, our journey, early on, because I wanted others to know they were not alone in this thing called life. Well, right now, life is truly happening. I was recently diagnosed with breast cancer, and so I am undergoing chemo infusions, and I just recently had my 4th one. This one's been the best, but they're just, you know, they're not my favorite thing to be doing, but you just keep walking through the pathway, and I'm in it to win it. And I am just ready for the next go round to get this stuff out of my system. And people will ask me what stage I'm at, what stage of cancer, and honestly, I do not know. And I don't want to know, because I don't want a figure on that. I don't want to sit and think about a particular number. I want to continue to think about the fact that I am going to win this. I'm not going to let this win. And I just have to continue to pray and continue to think positive thoughts, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. So there's nothing wrong with having a number. If you need to hold on to that number, if you need to say that's the number I beat and that's a miracle and everything else, I am all for it. But with me, I just emotionally can't connect to that number. I just can't connect. So it's not a wrong question. It's not a wrong number to want to know. I just can't do it. I have too many other emotional things that sit there. And so to say that I want to know what my number is or what's happening, it just is not something I can deal with. But again, that's not wrong. It's not something that's wrong if somebody wants to know it for themselves. I can't handle it. So Owen's been having some rock and roll days, but truly, who hasn't? So right now we are trying to get past the fact that he wants blue pants again. He wants the entire world to be wearing blue pants. And so every time I think I'm on the right kind of word or the right phrase to get him to move forward, or the right plan or the right something, he does fine for a while, and then we come back to it. So I am once again looking for that cue, that phrase, that something that will move him forward through this again. And it's hard because you can't, it's hard to even explain when I don't truly understand, except for the fact that I can see how upset Owen gets when the people he wants in blue pants are not in blue pants. Now, he doesn't want to wear blue pants anymore. We went through that phase where he wanted himself in blue pants. He wanted every single human being. Well, now he's wanting to be in shorts. So he doesn't want to wear blue pants, but he still really, truly wants his people in blue pants. And so it's emotional because he gets to the point where he's crying and he can't handle it and he can't process it. But he's come so far. He's now talking to himself about calming down and breathing, and we work a lot with counting and trying to get him to relax in moments and not stress over so much of it. And again, that's so hard because, you know, he is in the thick of it. He wants a particular thing to be happening, and when something isn't, then he's very emotional about it. And it just breaks this mama's heart because it's so difficult to see him so upset over something that someone's wearing, which again, it's how do you even explain that? How do I explain that my son gets very upset if somebody eats a banana? And that, I mean, it's a banana. That's everywhere. Everybody eats bananas, or a lot of people eat bananas. But that's one of his triggers. And that is something he's had meltdowns off and on over the years. Doors, lights, noises. I mean, these are all things that can cause him to have meltdowns. I've been having nightmares lately. I don't know why. So I guess I was thinking that. Not many. Anyways, but it's just hard to explain how you talk about or explain my son having a meltdown over something like a banana or something like someone wearing blue pants. But I see progress and I see where he's come from. And I know this is just one more stepping stone for him. And he is going to just come through it completely and totally. And I know that it will just be okay. I think Halloween, and I'm trying to get a green color here and I'm keep going the wrong direction. I think Halloween in October are his favorites. He is very excited about Halloween and dressing up and doing that type of thing. So it's exciting to me because he used to never ever want to be in a Halloween costume. And for him to now be where he can wear a Halloween costume and wants to be in a Halloween costume, it's so exciting to me because that's something that I waited for him to want to choose what he wanted to wear and how he wanted to be, and this, just all of it, the whole process. And so now he has gotten to the point where Halloween and the activities and everything are so exciting to him. So it's cool. It's very cool for him to be excited this year about having Halloween. I don't know what he's gonna want to be this year, but he usually picks Spider-Man, so we'll see what that happens to be this year. But I'm excited for what comes next. Very, very excited. So I always get to the point where I have to figure out like what to fill in, where to go next, what colors I want. And at the beginning I said I was going to try to do some new flowers. Well, they all look the same. That's how the story goes, folks. That is how the story goes. It's always like that. I think I'm going to do some new flowers and they look the same. My mom has the most incredible green thumb. She can grow anything and I can't. So I always think about how pretty her flowers are and try to kind of mimic some of them. And you know, she knows all the names of stuff, and I even have a hard time with my favorite flower, which is, I always call it the grocery store. I've listened to how it's said a million times. It's Alstroemeria, something close to that. They're the little flowers that come in a million colors. They're really inexpensive, and you get them in big groups. And I just love them. They're truly like my favorite flowers. I think I keep losing the connection, so that probably is not helping. But I think about that, and like, you know, I love making flowers. I feel like I'm off on my colors here. I did not plan my green vine roots very well, but it'll all work out. That's what I always say. It'll all work out when it's supposed to work out. It doesn't matter. It's just paint. I used to not paint, and my friend, she encouraged me to paint with Owen and to just do paint. And I was like, I can't paint. Well, I couldn't paint. I couldn't paint perfect is what I was afraid of. And that's the thing, is like, I paint perfectly imperfect paintings. These are not to like say they're exactly a flower, like I've said before. They are because I like to share our story and I like to paint. And that's the important thing to me, is just being able to paint and talk and get my painting done. So that's my story. That's my story. That is my story. And sometimes I can't stop painting. Like, I want to keep painting. So it'll be interesting today when Owen gets home from school. I always like to, some days it goes a little smoother than others. And he yesterday was very excited about Spookily, the square pumpkin. They're working on some projects and watching the videos and different things. So he loves that. So I was very excited that that was one of the things that they were doing at school. And he was able to tell me about, oops, I hit the, we're going to go flying there. he was able to tell me about his school day and everything, and that just truly makes his mama happy. So now see here, this is where I always say that I put too many green things. But it's just paint. So we just keep adding paint and more paint and more paint till we're done. So I very rarely ever use more than one paintbrush. It does happen. It does completely happen. But because I don't use more than one paintbrush, I have all the extra colors together. But it also, like, sometimes my paintbrush gets really thick and I need to wipe it more than I do, but I don't sometimes. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I'm gonna put some green here and go like that, and maybe put a little more purple, and then I always kind of sit back and look for a minute to see what else I need. Sometimes they're very messy. Sometimes my paintbrush and the paint don't work together. Sometimes I don't work together with myself. Ugh. So, okay. So I sign O for Owen, since he helps me paint the backgrounds. And then L and B. So there we are. All right. So that is a painting. I appreciate everyone being with us, and I thank you so much for watching. Toodles, toodles.